This week on the Spotlight, we flash back to the Bears and Vikings meeting in the playoffs. Wow, that's intense, isn't it? Then we talked to Donnie Lucy. He was a catcher back in the day. And then we also flash back to Ozzie Guillen. He was a great manager back in the day. We have one more flashback. It's Terry Bevington. He was a manager back in the day. Check out my website, benkowski.com, for my weekly article and up-to-the-minute trivia sites. From wherever Chicago's sports teams are making news, it's the 29th year of the Perfect Pitch Auto Repair Sports Spotlight. They have tune-ups, transmissions, AC service, engine repair, tire repair, oil changes, and more. 108th and Kedzie. Lansing Floral Shop, open 8 a.m. daily. Custom silk flowers, Bridgewater candles, great flowers, 708-474-1212. A great floral shop, Lansing Floral. Get to Renata's Beauty Salon, men, women, and kids. Open 6 days a week, 12558 Southwestern Avenue in beautiful Blue Island. With a 30-year Southwest Side tradition, Huck Finn is open 24 hours to serve you with great breakfasts like the Becky Thatcher, soups, great lunches, 1/3 pound burgers, clubs, and much more. Dinners from seafood to steaks to pasta, great donuts, and ice creams. With 3 locations at Archer and Damon, 67th and Pulaski, and 105th and Cicero. Stop in today. You know Huck Finn is open. You've got to get to Dr. Sherman Clay, chiropractor. Gentle adjusting. Most insurance accepted. Massage therapy, too. Walk-ins are welcome. Call 773-324-4325. That's HEAL. Dr. Sherman Clay. You've got to get to the Wise Owl at Van Buren and Racine. Pizzas, pork sliders, Cuban sandwiches, carrot soup, elote, burgers, tacos, salads, and more. Great cocktails and great bartenders. A tremendous array at the Wise Owl, Van Buren and Racine. See you there. You've got to get to Gil Hooley's. My trivia night, the next one, will be Friday, December 21st at 8 p.m. It's a block off Pulaski on 103rd, right by the St. Xavier campus. Music, movies, TV, sports. You can make requests for the future show, but you'll have to play with what I bring that night. It's very fun. The food is excellent. The atmosphere great. The drinks are flowing. You will have fun at Gil Hooley's, and I will see you there. We congratulate the Chicago Bears, the NFC North champions for 2018, as of December 20th, a 10-4 regular season. And a possible playoff opponent, the Minnesota Vikings. The only other time they met was in 1995. We'll flash back to maybe the greatest Bears moment of the 90s. Their playoff game at Minnesota. We pick it up in the first quarter. Bears came back strong. Lewis Tillman puts them up 7-3. And then shortly thereafter, Steve Walsh finds Keith Jennings. The extra point would be good, and the Bears were out in front 14-3. Raymond Harris scored to make it 21, and maybe the one that clinched it, Walsh and the fade to Jeff Graham. Bears win. It is not an advantage to have the home field in this round of the playoffs. This game was reminiscent of the Norris Division, where the Blackhawks frequently killed from the 3rd or 4th position. The Bears came in loose as a goose, and it showed. They survived 2 early turnovers on their initial possessions and came back strong with touchdowns by Lewis Tillman, Steve Walsh to Keith Jennings, Steve Walsh, and a beautiful play later in the second half. Even the defense scored an incredible play by Kevin Minifield, and the Bears romp. Can they stay this loose next week against San Francisco? Maybe we should stop and savor this one for a little while first.
Defensive-wise, we had 100 plays, almost 100 plays, and so I'm really, really tired, and the rest of the guys are tired. But I'm pretty sure after a while, we can take a shower and get on the plane as sink in.
Tell us a little bit about what you attempted to do defensively and how you did it.
Well, first of all, we want to try to, contain Warren Moon. We know he's banged up a little bit, and Chris Carter, and try to keep them out the end zone. They got in a couple of times, but, we figured we can get some turnovers against them. That would be our chance to win the game, and who didn't make the most mental mistakes would win. And I think that they made more than we made. But, I tip my hats off them. They were the divisional champion, divisional title team, and I just have to say, we're just we're a little bit better than them today.
Tell the folks a little bit about your own physical situation and what you were going through watching the club and the drama of the last month, 6 weeks.
Well, it's kind of tough just standing around not doing nothing, but I got to dress, and that was kind of neat just to get my uniform on again, and it was a good feeling to beat Minnesota. I can't understate that enough. It's a great feeling beating these people up here.
Tell us about where you are percentage-wise to 100% and the prospects going out west.
Well, hopefully it's coming along. It doesn't bother me in practice too much. The only problem now is there's a little continuity, and I did practice last week, and it felt pretty good. So, I'm just waiting on a nod or to tell me to sit down, or just waiting what the coaches tell me.
Neither motorcycle Vikings or cheerleaders could help Minnesota on that day. We talked to Keith Jennings about an excellent Bear win. Take us inside the huddle a little bit. After the first two offensive turnovers, things looked like they could have blown up on you, but you guys maintained and you kept marching down the field.
Well, we got guys on this team who worked too hard to let a few setbacks keep us down, and we got too much pride. We worked too hard for this, and we knew that they weren't stopping us. We were just stopping ourselves, and we just take care of our own business on the offensive side, and things work out for us, and it did.
Steve Walsh seems to be the stabilizing force. Even if the mistakes are on his end, he'll just kind of gather you around and keep things under control. Is that an accurate assessment?
Well, he's quarterback. He's supposed to do that. He's supposed to be the leader out there on the field, and that's what he was doing. I mean, Steve doesn't mind guys gathering around him, and that's what it takes.
It seems like at certain times when you're in the red zone, you are becoming the go-to guy, and you're open a lot down there too.
What it is, from a guy who wasn't playing at the beginning of the year, now he's playing, teams are sort of forgetting about me. And I've just been open in there recently.
You've got to get to Lansing Floral Shop. Open at 8 a.m. daily. Besides a great array of live flowers, they have custom silks, Bridgewater candles. They want you to plan your parties early at a wide delivery area. They're located at 3420 Ridge Road in Lansing, or you can call 708-474-1212. Weddings, funerals, birthdays, anniversaries, and guys, try the No Reason flower. Believe me, it works. Lansing Floral Shop. Give them a call, 708-474-1212. Kim G. Sherman, psychotherapist, Des Plaines Wellness Center. Therapy for individuals, couples, families. Call 847-962-4849. I've known Kim for over 20 years. She is a true professional, and she will help you. Give her a call. Family Dentist, Lawrence Furlan, DDS, 109th and Kedzie, crowns, veneers, cleanings, improving your smile. They do a great job. Call 773-233-7044. Excellent work, impeccable. Call the Family Dentist, 773-233-7044. They did a great job for me, and they'll do a great job for you. You've got to get to Shelton Fireworks, the world's largest warehouse, off Interstate 94, exit 22B in Porter, Indiana. Row after row of the best fireworks anywhere, from the little ones to the grand finales that'll end your show. Birthdays, anniversaries, graduations, in addition to the 4th of July. Just get over there to Shelton Fireworks now. Then you can reload by the time summer comes. Shelton Fireworks, I-94, exit 22B in Portage. We're back on the spotlight. It's time to talk more White Sox. Just a couple of weeks back, we reintroduced you to Tyler Flowers, the young White Sox catcher who's up from the minors because of the injury to Ramon Castro. Then, rather amazingly, the injury to A.J. Pierzynski. And now we're reintroducing you to the young catcher up from the minors, Donnie Lucy. You may have met him on our show last year. It was early in the season that he was up doing a fill-in role, and now he's in the thick of the pennant race. It'll be a real interesting test to see how these unproven players do under heavy-duty pennant chase situations. And we talked to Donnie about exactly that, from a catching standpoint and from a hitting standpoint. We're back on the spotlight talking White Sox baseball, and we're on the brink of September, and here you are in the thick of a pennant race. It's got to be a very interesting and fun feeling.
Yeah, it is. It's always great to be called up, and especially more so when, the team's in the hunt. Obviously due to a couple injuries, but, I'm glad to be here regardless, and that's kind of how opportunities happen sometimes. So, like I said, I'm happy to be here, and hopefully can help the team out.
Can you recall situations in the past where you were up in September and the team was battling?
No, I've only been up 2 previous times. Last year in the beginning of the season, where there's always great hope in the beginning of the season, so that was fun. But in 2007, we were pretty far out of it when I came up, so which wasn't as exciting in the park, but it was good for me because I got a lot of opportunities to play. I got about 5-6 starts that September, so it kind of can work both ways.
Yeah, so this really is a new thing. Your team is hovering 3-4 out, and you're just about getting into that 30 games left area. Yes, sir. You'll be encountering him if you're ever down in the pen.
Sure.
You know his routine, right?
Of Juan already.
Yeah. Hey, they're not sticking you with with that funky bag, are they?
No, I think Zach Stewart's got a hold of that.
Yeah,
So.
that's a good thing. We all know about that tradition of the bag of pumpkin seeds and all that stuff. Tell us a little bit about coming up, and then some of the guys who you played with, recently that you're reacquainting with.
Well, obviously just today, Josh Kenny getting called up. Played with him all year in Charlotte. Tremendous pitcher. He's probably been our most steady guy down there all year, so it's great for him to be up here, and he has great experience too, being with the Cardinals and pitching in the World Series, so he's a great asset to the team. But also, obviously playing with Tyler the last couple of years, I've backed him up in Charlotte, and just seeing the progression he's made as a player has been phenomenal. I mean, he's a great hitter already, and defensively he's been really solid, and he's a great guy too, so he's a great asset to the clubhouse as well as the team.
Well, you find yourself in the unique position of being in on these meetings where you're going over hitters and, getting deep into the strategy and, things that you're involved in, depending on when you get in the game, are, could be critical to the wins and losses.
Sure, I mean, that's something I've dealt with in the past when I've been up, so I'm familiar with kind of the routine as far as when we have pitchers meetings, and the catcher always meets with Coop before the game, going over the hitters, and they do a great job of giving us the right information without overloading us with information, which is important because as a catcher you have a lot of thoughts going through your head, and you want to key in on a couple of the few important thoughts, that are going to help the pitcher, get the hitter out. So that's kind of what we lock in on.
But I guess one of the key criteria is, as you're back there, you're getting a feel and a bird's eye view of what's working for them that day. And if a particular pitch is on the mark, you're going to be calling that inordinately, right?
Sure. I mean, there's obviously 2 sides to the story. It's what the pitcher's throwing and doing well that night, and also a hitter's weakness. I think in most cases, when push comes to shove, you're going to go with the pitcher's strength. If a guy can't hit a slider, but the pitcher's on throw a slider, then what are you going to do? You know what I mean? So, and like I said, when push comes to shove, in most cases we're going to go with what the pitcher's strength is, as well as what he's throwing that night. And if the hitter's having problems with certain pitches, certain locations, that definitely factors in.
One thing I am curious about is if you find a marked difference between guess hitting in the majors as opposed to at AAA. My guess would be there's more guess hitting in the majors.
I think I'd actually have to disagree with you on that.
Really?
I think in the minor leagues you get more guys that are a little more aggressive at the plate and are going to go up there looking just to tee off on anything over the plate. I think in the major leagues guys are a little bit more in control and are looking for a certain pitch, and if they don't get that pitch they're going to take it. That's obviously what makes them great hitters, so they're not necessarily maybe as guessing as much, maybe looking more location, something like that. So.
Okay, well, that's very informational. Let's talk about getting up to the plate and maybe some late or even extra inning situations, which very well could be the case.
Talk about your approach to hitting, and if some of the people that you've learned from in terms of mental approach to hitting in the last year or 2 or 3.
Sure. I mean, I think for me, being a back end of the order guy, I'm just looking for something over the middle of the plate. I'm looking to see some pitches, work the pitcher a little deeper into counts, and if there's a guy in second, move him over or get a bunt down. I think that's kind of where I am, as far as this team's concerned. There's plenty of guys that are going to hit doubles and home runs. I don't think they're really looking for me to do that. And, if I do that, that's great. And as far as working on stuff, Walker's great. I mean, ever since he's been here, I've been in spring training with him, and the few stints I've had up, I've gotten to work with him, and he does a great job just working with all the hitters, but especially taking time out to work with young guys as well. I have good rapport with him, and that's nice, as well as Gelly, who helps out a lot with the hitters too.
Is there any thought on your part about any particular one key that will get your team playing into October?
I mean, I think, if you pitch well and get a little clutch hitting, I think we're going to be fine. I mean, I think that's kind of the name of the game. It's good pitching and, timely hitting. And if that happens, I think we're going to be all right.
Well, the pitching's been there. So what you're saying in between the lines is the clutch hitting.
Sure. I mean, we always need clutch hitting. It doesn't matter who it comes from. Clutch hit can turn around a game, can turn around a week, can turn around a month. So that's kind of the name of the game.
All right. We wish you the best of luck, and maybe in a 12th inning somewhere along the line, you can get that RBI single.
Sounds good, Pat. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
With a 30-year Southwest Side tradition, Huck Finn is open 24 hours to serve you with great breakfasts like the Becky Thatcher, soups, great lunches, 1/3 pound burgers, clubs, and much more. Dinners from seafood to steaks to pasta, great donuts, and ice creams. With 3 locations at Archer and Damon, 67th and Pulaski, and 105th and Cicero. Stop in today. Huck Finn is open. Go play at Red Shoes Billiards, 12009 South Pulaski in Ulsa, featuring 16 Brunswick Gold Crown pool tables, drop fluorescent lighting fixtures, and a fabulous grade of cloth. Call 708-388-3700. And now video gaming is available at Red Shoes from open till close. And don't forget, the Illinois Lottery, too. That's Red Shoe Billiards, 12009 South Pulaski. You've got to get to the SOC Live Minkowski Trivia, alternate Thursdays at 8 p.m. 93rd and Roberts Road. Great game, great people. Check out the SOC. I think you'll be glad you did when you go to my trivia game every other Thursday. 8 p.m., 93rd and Roberts Road. Perfect Pitch Auto Repair at 108th and Kedzie does tune-ups, transmission, AC service, engine repair, tire repair, oil changes, and emission system repair. They're open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., and they've done a great job for me. Perfect Pitch Auto Repair at 108th and Kedzie. You've got to get to Papa Joe's new location, 5900 West 111th Street. Italian beef, tetrazzini, great pizza, Parmesan, ravioli, and more. All my classic choices. New location, and they can still deliver into the city. Get to Papa Joe's.
Bill, today?
No, well, I think the decision was made because we have to protect this kid. Besides that, we are a little short out of the bullpen. But the main thing is protect him. I think he was fine yesterday. He seemed like he's fine today, but meanwhile, I think we have enough people there to try to protect him about that. These kind of cases, I'm not a doctor, but this kind of cases, you don't know which way you're going to go. And it takes 1 second, a split a second to go the wrong way. I think he's just lucky enough to walk around right now, and I think it's no reason to put them in that situation and risk, not just a baseball game, risk or something now, and I don't think it's worth it.
You've spoken highly of Jim Hendry in the past. I mean, kind of a sad day for you, knowing him as long as you have.
Well, I tweeted today. I said, I said just like, you're not want to happen to anyone. I think this man is a very, very great baseball people, great baseball men, been doing a lot of great stuff in the past. Obviously, when you got that job, at least you know winning, you will take the blame. And I think the way he left, I think it showed how much class he have. You know what I mean? He got, well, up to him, I don't know anything about it. Just saw, you know, he listened to him to his press conference. He got fired before the draft. He showed how much class he have to stay with the organization, help them to get better, and make the organization to move on. Without him, notice he's gone. I mean, he's better man than me. It ain't happened to me. The soon I find out get fired, I leave the same day. I don't care what sides any organization go, what way they go. The soon they told me, well, you're gonna get fired after the season, I said, no, I'm gonna get fired today. You know, I mean, that's my way I am, and I think that's why I think Jim Hendry is better people than me, because I think a very class act press conference, very class act guy, the way he go out the right way, I think. Very tough situation for him. But some people in Chicago, when they signed Soriano, people have a parade. People in Chicago were so excited about getting him. When they signed Zambrano, people were excited about getting him. When people sign, you know, there's a few signs out there. Maybe it was wrong because people think it was wrong because the way it turned into be. But I remember when those guys got signed, people in Chicago was very, very excited about it. They almost started pitching in to help to sign them. Things don't work out their way. You know, too bad happened to him. I think this organization, I hear the CEO, the owner, talking very, very class, live the right way. Is that the thing, the best thing for that organization? Everybody has to respect that. But it's not a thing to celebrate somebody getting fired. That's you know, they almost, you know, that's people that have family, got the thing, and I think this man is a great baseball man. I don't care what people have say about him. He's a tremendous baseball people.
In your dealings with Rick,
You've got to get to the Corner Bar for my live trivia game every other Tuesday at 7 p.m. Music, movies, TV, sports, and a lot more. It's at Joe Orr Road in Torrance, a fun place with great food, drink, and people. Lenny Q's Barbecue. Trivia, alternate Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Daily specials. Catering, too. It's at the Lansing Municipal Airport, 3249 Airport Drive. I'll see you over there. Perfect Pitch Auto Repair at 108th and Kedzie is great. Tune-ups, transmissions, AC service, engine repair, tire repair, oil changes. They're open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. They do a great job for me, and they'll do a great job for you. They're quick, and they don't charge an arm and a leg. Perfect Pitch Auto Repair, 108th and Kedzie. Trivia will be at the Sock. Alternate Thursdays at 8 p.m. 93rd and Roberts Road. Great food, great drink, great people. Everything great. You've got to get to Renata's Beauty Salon. They cut hair for men, women, and kids, and I'm among them. Open 6 days a week. Walk-ins welcome. Easy to reach at 125th and Western Avenue. Maybe I'll see you there. Reggie's is a great place with tons of music, interesting people and staff, great food and drink at 21st and State. And amongst the cool things they have, Benkowski Trivia. All shows are now Monday at 6 p.m. Reggie's, 21st and State, a fun place. The White Sox are showing some signs of life, and Terry Bevington talks about it all. A little bit about yourself. I'm interested about how you're approaching the game these days. I mean, not besides the critique factor, and when you coached and in your early days of managing, you were known for your fire, kind of getting in the ump's face, an occasional tussle out there. Yet you're a little bit more laid back now, and I'm wondering if you're happier being laid back, or are there times where you just like to tear into somebody?
I'm not really any different than I've ever been. You know, I the last 3 years I managed in AAA, I was just telling somebody I got thrown out of 5 games. That's like 2-1-2 or so. I'm not a guy that I'm not into the show sort of thing. I do most of my work behind closed doors, and people don't know about it. So I don't think I could ever be considered to be laid back. And I've always considered myself to be under control. Now, you know, there's going to be a time or two you get ejected, but really, even if you analyze it, I think the first year I managed, I got thrown out 3 or 4 times. Well, really, there were only, I think, one time arguing a call. You know, the rest was a scuffle here, this and that. And I've never been the type of person that backs down, but, you know, from certain things. But, I've never been one to look for trouble either. So I don't really think that I've been really any different. Everything's perception, I guess. So, you know, if the media says I'm different, then I'll become different. I won't be, but the perception of myself will be. If they don't say that, then whatever they want to make it, it seems like that's what it is. And I don't mean that as a bad thing. I mean, it's just the way it is. So I don't, you know, I'm going to be myself, and you know, how people want to perceive that's really up to them.
Well, if it ever required an explanation, maybe the simple one would be, you know, as the more you're managing the major leagues, maybe the more respect you command and the less you have to fight to show where you're at on certain issues.
Well, yeah, I think that's true of anything. And you know, when you're a younger guy and haven't managed a long time in the major leagues, you know, there's always different things that you have to overcome or maybe not, overcome, I guess, is part of it, that you have to go through. And that's not just myself. That's anybody that ever started at a fairly young age and you know, in their first 2, 3, 4 years maybe, and then after that you become established, and all of a sudden certain things kind of die out, and now everything's fine. But that's just the growing pains of whatever you want to call them that you know, you have to go through, and that's again, I'm not the first guy that's going through that or has gone through it. There are many before me have done that, and many after me will do it. So it's just part of the game.
To wrap up, how would you characterize your style as it relates to how often you converse with individual players? I mean, you hear a phrase about the 1-minute manager who talks to everybody every day, or the guy who leaves the door open and says, come to me when you got a gripe or a question or a comment. How much interfacing you do with players on a daily basis?
Well, I think basically every manager is the same. As far as that open door, if you get, yeah, that's always the case. But I think what you find is, you know, sometimes people, you know, face to face don't want to come to you. It's harder for them.
So then you go to them.
Well, yeah, on occasion. But I communicate with everybody. Usually, you know, I'm not a guy that has a lot of team meetings. I don't really believe in team meetings, but
you've got to get to Moods Bar and Grill, exit 19 off Interstate 94, Portage, Indiana. I do live trivia there every other Wednesday. They have great food and drink, a very fun vibe. Located in the Portage Mall, in the middle of town. You got to check out Moods. Take a little road trip to the Bar and Grill. It's only 19 minutes into Indiana. Live trivia. I'll see you there. This week's show has been brought to you by the Perfect Pitch Auto Repair Shop. They do it all at 108th and Kedzie.
Huck Finn, a great wide-ranging menu, along with donuts and ice cream. Open 24 hours at Archer and Damon, 67th and Pulaski, and 105th and Cicero.
In print graphics, leaders in booklet, perfect bound, saddle stitch. Very competitive pricing. Call 708-396-1010.